just licking my wounds after last night. I was feeling really strong. I was feeling really good. And then my boy got kicked right in the gut. And I was just like, oh my God, like he is done. And I was like, what the fuck is that? But yeah, man, I'm like, in all seriousness, I watched the last fight with my kid, and we were both really bummed, man. Like, we were both bummed, dude. And like, he had no idea how much money I lost, but I was just as bummed, like, I don't know how deaf people celebrate, but Paul is definitely not going to be doing any celebrating. It was tough, man. It was difficult to watch, dude.
Maybe he knocked some noise into his ears.
Yeah. He looked good, dude. He really did look good until he didn't. Like, I say that every week, but like he was clipping him. He was clipping him, and then boom shakalaka, boom goes the dynamite, as they say on the ESPNs. But it was an entertaining Tuesday night, to say the least.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Expensive.
Yeah, it was definitely an expensive Tuesday night contender series where it was my first losing night of the season. Shit just didn't pan out. Maybe it took too big of shots on underdogs. That's my mistake. It is what it is. We move on, we get better, and we make better reads next time. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing this weekend, UFC 278.
Good save, Garrett. Good save.
I'm looking to get better. Coming up this weekend, UFC 278 on tap, headlined by the two of the best welterweights on planet Earth, Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. But let's start on the prelims, our very early prelims. Our first fight up is in the flyweight division between Victor Altamirano and Daniel De Silva. Really? De Silva's a flyweight? Oh, yeah, true. All right. Right now, the line is set at minus 175 on Altamirano and the comeback on Daniel De Silva plus 150. What do you got?
Yeah, so a couple of these fights, man, are just bottom of the barrel. And I mean, I think any Saturday with a UFC fight is a good Saturday to me. But some of these, man, I rush home to see. This is not one of those fights. This is an interesting matchup. Lacerda, 100% finish rate. Altamiro, he's kind of been a little bit lackluster lately, a little decision machine on our hands. Seems smart to bet inside the distance if you're betting Lacerda, but I'm not. I wouldn't advise it. Victor, he has the tools and the style to finish Daniel. I think he does just that. He should get the bounce back with a sub, but it doesn't appear that prop is available just yet for my books, at least. So for now, I'm going to take Victor inside the distance at plus 130. And, you can also take that under 1.5 for plus 120. Hit it while you can, because I think that those are going to get hit as soon as they get more available to, bigger crowds.
Yeah, I agree. This is obviously a fight I really don't want to take part in, but we are breaking it down in the flyweight division. Altamirano really has not, looked good. He won his contender fight where he basically lost. I won on the fight, but he definitely should have taken an L there. And then he lost a razor close decision to Hernandez the last time out. And then on the flip side, you have Daniel De Silva, who's looked terrible in his time in the UFC. He emptied his gas tank in round 1 against Molina, and then Molina beat him to shit in round 2. And then he lost a little figgy by knee bar, which is, his fight IQ is like at the bottom of the barrel. Like his fight IQ is horrendous. He gets finished in majority of his losses, or he gets a finish in majority of his wins. I think 10 of his wins are coming inside the first round. But
yeah, most of them.
Yeah. So, but I think Victor Altamirano is the better fighter. He's a cleaner fighter. I think he's got better footwork. He's better defensively sound on the feet. And I think, De Silva's going to come out like a bat out of hell. that first round looking for a finish. May even clip Altamirano and put him down, but I think Altamirano ultimately gets back up, weathers an early storm, and probably finishes him inside 2 rounds because De Silva looked like he's a round 1 or bust type of fighter because the moment he goes to round 2, he's probably getting finished. So I like Victor to win inside the distance, even though I know he's a decision machine. This is the guy that gets put away very often in many different ways. So I think Victor finally gets his win inside the distance in his UFC career.
Yeah, and also just to clarify, he's only been a decision machine lately. Prior to that, he was definitely finding the finish. That's why I think that this is a matchup for him. If he loses, it's to himself because I feel like I don't think that this was necessarily set up for him to win, but it has all the writing on the wall to cater to his skill set. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for a more favorable matchup against a guy that's literally kill or be killed. So, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be killed in this fight. He's going to go.
Why I like the under too, because I like the under 1.5, just because
under 1.5. It's set at 1.5.
Yeah, under 1.5 is plus 120.
You got to give me more than that for me to take a stab on a flyweight fight at 1.5. Damn.
But those two, bro, like I just
but the thing is, like, Victor's not even like a finisher like that, but shit.
No, I agree but I'm just going off what I have available.
Right. I wish I wish you had 2.5. 2.5.
Yeah, me too.
Because like right now I see it's on a couple books. 2.5 at -175, -163. I feel like that's pretty much money in the bank right there. Just that 1.5, I'm like, it could go late second, early third round finish. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I feel like that Victor inside the distance is probably the safest of the two. If you want to bet it, like, I mean,
or not, or you could totally pass on this situation.
Save your money, buy a sub sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely go and make some food during this fight too. Do whatever you feel like doing. But anyways,
fade them, fade the loser. Yeah. Actually, fade them both in the next fight.
Fuck it, fade it.
Why not?
All right, moving on. Our next fight up is in the bantamweight division, in a fight between Aurichi Lang and Perrin. Right now, the line is set at Aurichi Lang is -160 to come back on Perrin plus 130. Who do you got?
Yeah, so this is another one of those ones that doesn't really have all the lines available just yet. Elang, his losses.
Aurichi
Lang.
It's one word. Like his name is one word.
Cool, like Madonna. His losses, man, they're a bit telling. The guy, he has a ton of decision losses, but when he does win, he seems to win in the first round, kind of like the last fight. I'd look to bet Perrin live after round 1, and maybe even bet Aurichi Lang round 1, depending on what the odds are. As of right now, I'm not seeing those available. So at first glance, I like Perrin via decision, but I don't want to make a play or even make like a definite play until everything kind of becomes more clear and available. I like Perrin decision is plus 300, and then I also like him after round 1. So just keep those kind of open, or keep your eye on that. I don't really like either guy, but I think that those odds are kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I'm not extremely high on Aurichi Lang because he's been taken down before. I mean, he's been outworked before. He's faded in fights before. But at first glance, I kind of wanted to take Perrin because I think he has a grappling advantage. He's a pretty decent wrestler, but from what I've seen, his last fight against Batista it didn't look that great. I mean, yes, he had a nice double leg, but wasn't able to secure it with anything else. And on the feet, yeah, he's got some good flurries. He's got some decent power, but I feel like Aurichi Lang has definitely got him beat on the feet all day, every day. And I'm not sure. Perrin may want to kind of test him on the feet and put on a fun, exciting fight, which doesn't bode well for him. I think Richie Lang is going to be faster. I think his jab is going to be the money maker in that fight because Batista was landing the jab at will against Perrin, and Aurichi Lang has a really good jab. He showed it in the Cody Durden fight, and he's got ending power. I mean, he ended Cameron Ellis with a body shot. It was dirty. He's got really good head movement as well. He's quick on his feet. Yes, he's gotten taken down, controlled a bit by Cody Durden, but he was able to get back to his feet almost in every time he was getting taken down. He wasn't really flat on his back ever. He was always able to get a wizard, get back to his feet. I know Perrin might be a little bit bigger, but ultimately, I think if he doesn't get his grappling going, he doesn't get him on the mat, he's probably losing this fight pretty handily on the feet. He's going to get hit a ton. He might even get put away. Who knows? But ultimately, I got Aurichi Lang getting this job done. Minus 160. I feel like the line's been coming down a lot on him. It opened at like minus 185 to minus 190. Now it's dropped all the way down to minus 160. Maybe want to wait a little bit, see if it drops any more. But ultimately, yeah, look, actually, he's at minus 150 at DraftKings. I would kind of just keep waiting, see if the line kind of dips a little bit. I like his style of fighting. I just don't think his grappling will be able to keep him down on the mat for long periods of time. And on the feet, I think it's a no-brainer all day.
Say his name one more time.
Aurichi Lang.
I like it. Sounds like a Mortal Kombat character.
That's pretty much what he is. He's the Mongolian murderer, so that goes hand in hand right there.
That's cooler. They should just, do the Korean zombie and like just change his name straight up to the Mongolian murderer. But he's going for that Madonna thing, so whatever.
Yeah. Aurichi, the Mongolian murderer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Aurichi Lang.
I think if he wins though, I think he'll win in round 1. But I'd be curious to see what the odds are for that once those become available. They weren't an hour ago anyway.
Well, right now, yeah, they only got Perrin odds right now.
Yep.
As far as props go, still nothing there. We got Forrest Daniels got Aurichi Lang by unanimous decision.
I think he'll win round 1. That's.
I just don't. I don't think the narrative of him fading really is as true as I thought it was after looking at the tape. Because he got tired in the Durden fight, but he didn't get tired until like midway into the 3rd round because he was fresh as fuck in round 2, beating the dog shit out of Durden, and then Durden was just relentlessly going for takedowns in the 3rd round. But he wasn't even that tired. He once he was able to get back to his feet, he was the one that was being the aggressor. He was the one that was pushing forward, landing hard shots until Durden got a hold of him again. And I just don't think Perrin can go at that pace and just wrestle for 15 minutes. He's just not going to be able to do it, especially considering he says he's dropping from 169 to 135. You're talking about a guy that's dropping 34 pounds.
Yeah.
To make 135 pounds. That's insane. So I feel like if he goes grapple heavy early, doesn't get the sub in round 1, Aurichi Lang's probably going to take over and beat the piss out of him in rounds 2 and 3. And might I add, this is at elevation too.
Yeah. I mean, but I'd also argue that Batista is definitely beyond Aurichi Lang.
Is, but I think Aurichi Lang is beyond the guys that Perrin has lost to prior to Batista. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see.
Like Dwight Joseph. I think Aurichi Lang is about twice as good as Dwight Joseph will ever be in his entire career. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not honest. I have no horse in this race. I just think that I don't know. This is a weird. It's a pretty shitty fight, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be a good one. Who knows?
Forrest Anderson, the Freddy Krueger lights in the background are the tits.
There they are.
They are the tits, as Force Angels would say. All right, moving on. We got a fight in the flyweight division between Amir Albazi, the return of Amir Albazi, and Francisco Figueiredo, the Little Fig. Right now, the line is set at minus 475 to minus 500 on Albazi. Come back on Little Figgy plus 380. Who do you got?
Frankly, I really just don't think Little Figgy is all that good. I wish he was. That being said, I'm not really rushing to the casino to bet on Amir either. Like a lot of fights in this cards, nothing stands out more than the fact that there just are more paths for Amir to win this fight. He's the right side, simple as that. Figgy is shitty, but he is tough. I assume that Amir wins via decision, but I'm not confident, nor do I really care, just because these odds are kind of insane. I like fight does go to decision minus 140, and then I like Amir by decision at plus 120. I feel like because it's kind of his comeback fight, he might be playing it a little safe. And yeah, I just feel like maybe Figueiredo might have figured things out between this fight and his last fight. And while he doesn't win, I do think even getting to a decision is a moral victory for the Figgy camp.
Yeah, I really don't expect much from Little Figgy in this fight. Like I said, I don't think it's very good. He's low volume. He gets taken down. He's got a little bit good power. He's got some decent jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't overwhelm anybody, and I definitely don't see him overwhelming Albazi here, especially literally anywhere on the field or on the mat. Albazi is one of the top prospects in the flyweight division, and ultimately he's been out for the last 19 months. Shit happens, but he's back. I fully expect him to get the job done here. I think he wins via decision plus 120. Lil Figgy hasn't been finished since back in 2012. So I don't expect him to really lose inside the distance here either. So I got Albazi winning a clear-cut unanimous decision. And then Albazi, I don't think he really is a potent finisher either. I mean, he went to decision with Zalgazumagulov. He's got some, subs against Malcolm Gordon and Ryan Curtis, but it's not saying much. And then he lost the decision to Jose Torres. That's pretty bad. But yeah.
I miss him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to come back to UFC, unfortunately.
I like his Tapology picture. It's just like him on a couch with like 10 belts. Yeah, he's something else.
Oh my god, yeah, it is. Holy shit.
It's legit, right?
Yeah, that's dope. It's one of the best out there. But anyways, let's keep it moving. Our next fight up is in the welterweight division between AJ Fletcher and Angelusa. Right now, the line is set at minus 155 for Fletcher and plus 135 for Lusa. Who do you got?
Yeah, I think this is great matchmaking. I think the line is just right. These are two of my favorite prospects. Both guys looked great before coming to the UFC. Both have seemed to kind of slow down, once they joined the big show, which what I mean by that is they used to finish every fight in the first round, and now they're finding themselves losing and being exhausted after 15 minutes. They're actually facing some interesting and good competition for the first time in their career, both of them. So it's pretty cool that they're putting them together. It's like putting two beta fish in one fish tank and seeing who comes out on top. I have been less impressed with Lusa since joining the UFC. I feel like Fletcher may be a bit more well-rounded. And Lusa has always seemed a little bit hesitant to me. Like he doesn't seem to pull the trigger. When the bright lights come on, he seems a little bit less likely to kind of follow the game plan. Again, I like them both, and I just feel there may be more past the victory for Fletcher here. So my pick is AJ, but I'm probably going to not play this just because both of these guys can get it done. It just depends on who shows up on Saturday.
Yeah, it's hard to think. I think Lusa's fought the far better competition of the two.
That's true.
Like a lot better competition. It's like night and day. Yes, he didn't look good in his UFC debut. Granted, that was against Munir Lazez, who's a sniper from distance. He's super tall, super rangy as well. But now he's got AJ Fletcher, who's the same height as him, same type of build, and he's got a 7-inch reach advantage over him. So Fletcher's gonna be there to be hit, just like Semmelsberger was hitting him all day, every day. And it just comes down to whether or not Fletcher can really get him to the ground and really get his grappling game going. If he doesn't, I think Lusa kind of runs away with it on the feet. I know Fletcher is a good striker in his own regards, but he doesn't throw a ton of combinations. He's only, in his first fight against Semmelsberger, he's only averaging upwards of 4 to 5 strikes thrown per minute and landing less than 3. Where Lusa he's thrown a lot of volume. He throws a lot of volume. He's got some punching power as well. I mean, and I think he's got more tools in the tank. And I think he also obviously trains at a much better camp at Killcliff FC, training with all those killers over there. And then you just look at the last 3 opponents that he's faced: Munir Lazez, John Howard, Jack Della Maddalena. He even beat Rastam Hassanov, years ago. But ultimately, I think I would take a dog shot here on Angelusa. Nothing too crazy, but I think I think Lusa gets it done. But we have Forrest Daniels over here thinks AJ's gonna get the first round submission.
Let's go. So you're going with Lusa. Do you think he's gonna get it inside the distance, or do you think it's gonna go to a decision?
I think it's gonna go to a decision. I think he's got a good chin on him. But I mean, and you look at who the hell has Fletcher been subbing? Fucking Ariel Juarez, who was 3-4, Wesley Golden, who's 8-17, James Freeman, who's 6-3, Christopher Anthony, 10-9. I mean,
well, also both of these guys, their only losses are via decision. So
right.
I'm not sure why Lusa would be the one that gets subbed. Or let me rephrase that. I'm not sure why Fletcher would be the one that subs Lusa, because he's fought other guys that can sub. So I mean,
right.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely an out there choice, Daniels. But I mean,
it's gonna be close.
It's a choice. It's a choice. I'll give you that.
Forrest Daniels is like, I could dream. I could dream too, man. We all dream. We all dream for some ice cream, right? Or no? That's not how choice. That's not how it goes. No, we all dream for ice cream. No,
we all dream for Cheeto getting a knockout in round 4. That's what
the fight goes the distance at -135 is actually pretty decent.
Well, especially considering that's how they both have lost. I think, and since they've got to the UFC, that's all they've done is go the distance, right?
Right. Yeah. Both.
So that's interesting.
And then you also think about it. They both have good chins on them. They both face really good strikers. I mean, Jack Della Maddalena is arguably one of the best strikers in the division.
Yeah.
And Angelusa went in there and went the distance with him. And then he went against a really good striker in Munir Lazez, went the distance with him. I don't think Fletcher is knocking him out. So
he might get a sub in round 1.
And he might. Who knows? Anything could happen. It's MMA out there. But ultimately, I really kind of do like that fight goes the distance line at -135. I think these guys are tough enough to keep their head on their shoulders, and I don't think either guy's gonna get subbed, especially with Lusa. I mean, trains out of a great camp with a bunch of jiu-jitsu wizards like Gilbert the Burns brothers and everybody else over there that are high level jiu-jitsu practitioners.
The one Burns brother, and then the other one we don't talk about.
The full Burns brother and the half Burns brother.
Yeah, somebody's dad cheated that day.
That's terrible. All right, let's keep it moving. Our next fight up is in the women's flyweight division between Miranda Maverick and Shayna Young. Right now, or Shana, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Shayna. I like Shayna better. Right now, Maverick -560 all the way up to -650, and the comeback on Young +430. That's insane. We got.
Yeah, I love the way Maverick fights, and I believe she does win here. But with the odds being the way that they are, and the way that she tends to lose via decision, it's hard to lay the chalk. But here's the thing: with a nickname like Shanimal, that's Shanna Young's nickname, Shanimal. Okay, you deserve to lose, and Who has she beat? Gina Mazzani. Okay, unimpressive. Maverick inside the distance isn't bad, but it really comes down to if Young gives up or not. But I have bet worse. I will take Miranda Maverick inside the distance plus 140 because there's no way in hell I'm betting minus 560, minus 650 on Miranda Maverick. I'll take the shot on the inside the distance.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this fight. Let's put it that way. Definitely would never bet minus 650 on a women's MMA fight ever. And would I be surprised if Miranda were to lose this fight? No, not really. Considering Shanna is the bigger fighter by a pretty decent size. Miranda's one of the smallest flyweights in the entire division at 5'3". And then you have Shayna Young, who's a former bantamweight. Her last fight was at flyweight, where she dominated, Gina Mazzani. And so she came down from 135 to 125 and dominated her in her first fight at flyweight. She's definitely gonna be the bigger fighter. Could she outmuscle her to the mat? Yeah, she could. And
it's possible.
And that's why I'm like, why would we even remotely try to bet Miranda Maverick in this spot? It's either you're gonna bet Shayna Young or you're gonna pass on this fight because that line is absurd. Maybe if you got in earlier where she was like minus 3 something, you threw her in a parlay, then it is what it is. But right now, it's Shayna Young or pass. At this point, me personally, I'm passing. I'm not betting on this fight, but I can't advise anyone to bet on Miranda Maverick in any way, shape, or form because I could definitely see her losing. Could I see her winning? Yeah, but I mean, is she gonna look like her minus 650 price tag? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put her on a DK lineup just because she won't score because she's so small.
Right.
I mean, and what she'll probably be like a 9,000 or something, and then she'll come back with 600 points. Like I need more than that.
Right. And Forrest Daniels say second round sub, and then she'll know how to use her size to her advantage.
But she hasn't in the past. Like there's so many fights where she has been the smaller person, and
she got bullied. She got bullied She got bullied by people that are bigger than her. This is why I could totally see that. She got bullied by Aaron Blanchfield. She got bullied by what's her name as well, by Barber and got taken down. Why would Shayna Young? Why would it be so far fetched that Shayna Young takes her down, who's arguably twice her size, and the biggest opponent that she's facing her entire career are 5'7"?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I think that Miranda finds the win somehow.
Yeah,
but like it's at this like this should be a closer fight because Young is going to be able to pick her up. It's going to be one of those things where Young just has like an IQ dump and like does something dumb, and Maverick takes advantage. Like that's just how. I don't know.
Yes, we know Forrest Barber is much better than Young. I'm pretty sure everybody that that Maverick has faced in her career is better than Young, but this is betting and literally anything could happen. And then you have to go by the line itself. Are you really going to bet minus 650 on Miranda Maverick against any living organism in this entire world? No, you're not. You're not going to do that. Why? Because that's just absurd. Because she's not on the level of like any champion. Most champions aren't even minus 650. And let alone you have Miranda Maverick against another living human being. No. It just doesn't work out.
Well, also too, okay, so like let's say it does go to decision, right? And the whole fight, Young is just picking her up or moving her around. The judges are going to see that. Like if Young is just holding her, then I mean who's going to win the fight? Young. I mean Maverick can't punch her if she's too close. I mean, I see both sides of this argument because I do think Maverick wins, but it's too risky. Like it's just like, why would you even like? Let's say you have like a 5-leg parlay and Maverick's your last leg. Like I would be sweating my balls off because it's just so stupid to like just to win $5 more.
Right. No, I agree. Let's keep the Let's keep it moving. We
Yeah.
talk way too much about that fight. All right, moving on. Moving on. Our next fight up is in the featherweight division between Sean Woodson and Luis Saldana. Right now, the line is set at minus 325 on Woodson. They come back on Saldana plus 270. Who do you got?
Yeah, so this one's interesting. Pillow fights are really fun. Wouldn't you agree, Garrett?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, especially when it's like hot blondes jumping around on a bed. Not grown men, Sean. Woodson should win this fight, but he has pillow hands and he gets tired from throwing those pillow hands. I think Saldana, he can stand with him, but he has the edge on the ground. If the fight goes to the ground, Saldana, he could win this fight. Hell, depending on if Sean gets tired, Sean or Luis could maybe knock him out. I doubt it though. The path is on the ground, and if Luis gets him there, it's his fight to lose. I like Luis Saldana plus 265. I also like Luis wins in round 3 plus 2,000. Woodson has a bad habit of getting tired from swinging ultimately, and if he gets to the ground after being tired, that's all she wrote, Daddy.
Are you taking into account that Saldana fades every single time after round 1?
I am.
Are you? Because it doesn't sound like you're taking that into account here.
I am, dude. Woodson should win this fight,
right?
But like, I don't know. Something about this fight is just weird to me.
I mean, if Saldana fights the way he did in his last fight, okay, where he doesn't pick up the pace early, he's gonna get teed off on from the get go. But then if he comes out and fights like he did prior, where he empties his gas tank, he's gonna get finished in the later of the fight. So he has to pick his poison. Yes, I do think he's a better grappler. Is he a good grappler? No. Do I think he wins a fight on the feet? No. So ultimately, I don't see him winning this fight. I'm not very high on Saldana. I don't think he's very good. He's fought favorable matchups. He fought a guy that, Bruno Souza, who just got cut from the UFC. He fought a midget in Murdoch. Or I think it was Murdoch. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I just haven't been impressed. Like, just not impressive fighter, and he has god awful gas tank just on top of it. So how's that even gonna help? Yeah, he lost. He did. He beat Murdoch where his foot went and knocked him out with a front kick because his foot Murdoch was literally up to his waistband. That's how short he was. So yeah. So I mean he had favorable matchups. He beat Souza, Jordan Griffin, and Vince Murdoch. Come on, man.
Who did he lose to?
He lost to fucking Austin Lingo.
No, I mean, but hold on, there another
Austin Lingo. This man lost to fucking Austin Lingo, who would get teed off on by Sean Woodson.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
And mind you, this man doesn't even look good in his wins either. Griffin, I think he should have lost that fight if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost certain, and he got taken down 4 times in that fight. Yeah, he definitely should have lost that fight. That was a BS decision. And the only fight he looked decent in was in the Vince Murdoch fight because he fought a legit midget.
But I mean, your boy. I mean, he went to a split decision with Zalal.
Are you trying to tell me that Zalal's not better than Luis Saldana? Well, I mean, let's be real here.
Hey, man.
Luis Saldana is not good.
Hey, I got one pick right last night, so.
And mind you, if Julian Rosa didn't have a come from the behind Hail Mary Darce choke, he'd be undefeated, beating Colin Anglin, Yusuf Zalal, Julian Rosa, Kyle Boshnak, and Terrence McKinney in his last 5, who are all 5, except for Colin Anglin, because I don't think he's good at all, is better than Luis Saldana. I say 4 of his last 5 were better than Saldana. That's just me. I'm not saying I'm going to go ahead and bet Sean Woodson at minus 320. I just can't fathom even betting the value side on Saldana because I just don't think he's that good. Because where he's better than all of his other fighters is fighting at range, using his kicks, being longer, being taller. Well, now he's going against a guy that's 3 inches taller than that. Who does it better than him, who's 3 inches taller with a 5-inch reach advantage, and now he's going to have to go and be a grappler because he's not going to be able to, win this fight at distance and win in his wheelhouse. So he's going to have to go and try to grapple a little bit. He got 2 takedowns against Bruno Souza, but Souza's not, he's a karate guy and he's not as big as Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson's huge. That dude is massive. And he was able to get up after getting taken down by Terrence McKinney. Pretty sure he should be able to get up after getting taken down by Luis Saldana. So ultimately, I got Sean Woodson winning. I kind of like him to win, possibly in round 3 at plus 750, or him to win by decision at plus 130.
Hey, at least we're on the same page with round 3.
Yeah, because of the fact that both these guys fade, and if someone gets finished, it's probably late in this fight. All right, moving on. We got our next fight up. It's not that. Next fight up would be let's see. Believe it's the fight in the lightweight division between Jared Gordon and Leonardo Santos. Right now, the line is set at Gordon minus 265 all the way up to minus 333. And they come back on Santos plus 225 all the way to plus 250. Who do you got?
So we don't have many rules on this show, but we do have one. And that rule is to fade aging BJJ fighters. Would you agree?
I agree.
Okay. And that's exactly what Santos is. Also being subbed by Clay Guida doesn't really help your resume. Gordon, I actually forgot about that, and I was like, holy shit, okay.
You don't get finished by Clay Guida. You still allow that to happen.
Yeah. Especially now.
Yeah.
Gordon, he's a dog. He always looks for the win, even when he's dog-ass tired, no pun intended. Santos, he may look strong in the first few minutes, but I assume he gets tired of, slowly but surely due to Gordon's pressure. And at that point, I figure Gordon finds the finish one way or another, either by sub or by some sort of weird KO. I just don't seeing Santos having a chance outside of the first few minutes. I like Jared Gordon inside the distance at plus 200.
Yeah, I like that as well. I feel like if you're going to bet Santos, might as well bet him inside round 1 at plus 650 because that's where he's the most dangerous. He does pack a lot of punching power, so could he knock out Gordon? It's possible. But ultimately, I got Gordon winning inside the distance. I like the under 2.5 rounds, which is at plus 127, plus 120, all the way up to plus 130. I think that's a steal. Someone's getting finished in this fight. And then also I like Gordon to win in round 2 and round 3. Round 2 plus 800, round 3 plus 1,000. He's getting a finish in one of those 2 rounds. I feel like it's going to weather the early onslaught from Santos, and then eventually start drowning him with his pace, his pressure, his wrestling, and just grind him until Santos ultimately gets grounded out into a TKO or possibly a submission win for Gordon.
I like the round 2 and round 3. Like, I think that's sneaky. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're going to bet him, you might as well bet him to win in those rounds, considering that Santos is going to gas. Like, absolutely know he's going to gas. He got finished in round 2 against Clay Guida's last time out because he gassed. And then he got finished in round 3 by Grant Dawson because he gassed there too.
That was a crazy fight.
That was
a wild fight. But yeah, I like that round 2, round 3. I just Gordon, man, he's always looking for the finish. He never stops working. The pressure is always on. I think that's a good place to put your money.
Yeah, you can even do like half a unit on each of the rounds, right? Round 2, round 3, and then you hit that decision prop of plus 130. Yeah, you only hit a third of a unit if you hit the decision, but if you hit one of the big props, you're coming up 3 to 4 units. Yeah. So
I like it.
I like it.
I agree though with Forrest. If he doesn't get the finish, it's going to be unanimous. I mean, it's probably going to be 29-28. all across the board because I think Santos is going to come out hot and heavy in round 1.
Yeah, and then you also can even live bet Gordon after round 1 and possibly get even better price. Maybe it's minus 140, minus 120, or even plus money if he gets knocked down. Who knows?
Yeah. Just busy, man. Just busy.
Busy bee. All right, moving on. Our next fight up is our featured fight on the prelims. Is in the fight in the light heavyweight division between Tyson Pedro and Harry Hunsucker. I believe that's our next fight up.
Did you skip
Nope, it's no. I'm sorry. It's the next fight up is the heavyweight fight between Martine Tybura and Alexander Romanov.
what about the
Nope.
women's
No,
you're not talking about it?
no. Do you know where it's at on the card?
Is it like in the main card?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh god. That one's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's bad.
Wow.
Very bad. Yeah. We're talking second fight on the main card is that fight.
Okay. Well, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the other women's fight is more interesting than that.
Of course it is, but
Okay.
you know, here we are.
That is weird. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Moving on. Our next fight up is in the heavyweight division between Marcin Tybura and Alexander Romanov. Right now, the line is set at minus 360 all the way up to minus 480 for Romanov. And the comeback on Tybura is plus 295 all the way up to plus 333. Who do you got?
Yeah, so this is pretty interesting. This is a pretty interesting matchup. I mean, this is probably one of the more interesting matchups to break down, honestly. You know, Alexander has been gifted garbage opponents to help build his resume. And Tybura, you know, he isn't a world beater, but he's faced pretty, you know, decent competition. He hasn't beat most of them, but he's definitely faced them. You know, Tybura is better than Chase Sherman. And old King Kong, you know, he's not playing around anymore. He's coming to finish these fights. Here's the thing, though. Romanov did have issues with Juan Espino, and Tybura, you know, he should be the heavier fighter come this weekend, and he has the reach. And if he has a similar game plan, I think Tybura gives Romanov similar issues. But eventually, I think Romanov should be on top, on the ground. He'll probably try and knock him out, but Tybura, you know, he'll push, and Romanov ultimately finds that neck late. The big old Polish neck. He's just a little bit better and faster everywhere. I like Romanov. I like him. Let's see, in round 2 plus 400 or round 3 plus 800. I think it's very likely we get out of round 1. Tybura is smart enough to avoid Romanov's bullshit, and I like round 2 and round 3. I think that's the play.
I'm taking a shot on Tybura here. Yeah. I don't understand why he's such a heavy underdog considering Romanov has beaten literally nobody.
Yeah.
16 wins against nobody. And mind you, one of those 16 wins could have gone the other way. Actually, should have gone the other way.
The split?
You're right.
Yep.
Should have gone to Espino. And that's a guy that was able to keep the fight on the feet. And you keep the fight on the feet against Romanov, you probably win. I think Tybura is a better striker than Romanov. He's more seasoned. He's faced better competition. He's beaten better competition. He's defended takedowns. He's, you know, he's going to be the taller, heavier, bigger fighter as well. I just think Tybura can get it done. You may even want to wait till after round 1, where I think Romanov probably is the most dangerous. And then take Tybura live after round 1. He'll probably be plus 500, plus 600. Or you could take Tybura by decision at plus 600 as well. Because I feel like Tybura can just outwork Romanov for 15 minutes, which he definitely can do, especially on the feet. Or possibly a round 3 finish for Tybura at plus 3,000.
That was my initial play, because I was like, he could maybe find the finish late.
He definitely can, because of the fact that Romanov is gonna try to get this fight to the ground. He's gonna be active early and often. And we can get to a point where he starts to slow down. I mean, he was tired as dog shit in that Espino fight. So
Yep.
and we know Tybura has a good gas tank and he can grapple hard for 15 minutes. So if he gets Romanov tired, I could see him possibly getting even possibly a standing TKO against the cage in round 3.
Tybura also has a couple subs on his resume,
He
but
does.
I mean, I went back and like they're not great, but I mean the guy he has the resume to get this done. It just really depends on. I think it really comes down to speed, and if Romanov is
But
fat,
speed in what way? Because speed on the feet's not going to matter considering Romanov is not a striker by any stretch.
well, that's exactly what I was going to get at. I mean speed and like avoiding shit because also keep in mind as the fight goes on, they're both going to get slower. So it's really just going to come down to who gets more slow, really. Like simple as that. I mean, well, Tybura, he was beating the dog shit out of Derek Lewis in San Antonio, or no, that was in Austin, and then Derek Lewis found the KO. I don't think that Romanov could do that. Like, so if Tybura pressures him like he did Derek Lewis and keeps him down, I think he finishes him. And I think, like you said, I think it's late. But if Romanov gets in that position, that power position, I mean, I could see him finishing Tybura too. It just really depends on the game plan, really.
And what I don't like from Romanov is the fact that he went from 265 all the way down to 236.
Yeah.
Yeah, he may be quicker, but now you're giving up a shit ton of size as well.
Yep.
You know, being 236 in heavyweight, even though you're 6'3" or 6'2", you're not even that big.
Yeah, he's shorter. He's shorter than Tybura by I think only 1 inch, right? But still.
Yeah, but still, you don't want to come in at a heavyweight fight against legit heavyweights at 236 pounds or anywhere in the 230s, especially if you're going to be the one that's going to be going in there grappling against guys that have a 15 to 20 pound weight advantage over you.
Yeah.
So that's another thing why I was kind of leaning towards Tybura. If he's coming in the 230s, I feel even more confident on Tybura.
Well, have you seen him lately? I haven't looked at his like socials or anything. Is he?
No, I haven't either. But I'm just gonna assume he's probably between 235 and 245. Maybe he gotten a little bigger for this fight. Who knows? I mean, he did go against a very small guy. I always say small in terms of weight in terms of Sherman, who doesn't grapple at all. So maybe he packed on a few pounds, knowing that he's going against a guy that can actually grapple in Tybura. Oh no, this man looks fucking tiny. Holy shit.
Okay, well that's good. That's good to know.
Wait. I'll show you right now. I mean, like, he's ripped. Don't get me wrong, but this man is tiny. Hold on. I'm gonna show this right now. I mean, he's not even remotely like he doesn't even look like a heavyweight. Hold on, let me get to it.
Oh yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, that looks
that's a light heavyweight right there.
That's kind of deceiving, yeah. Because if Tybura takes him down, that boy's not getting up.
That dude is like, he's not small.
Yeah, I know
but he's not 265 pounds where he used to be.
No, he looks 230.
Like, you look at this. That dude is like he's built. Don't get me wrong. He's
small. Bigger there. He looks tinier in the other photo, but I mean that's also. But that was like head on.
That was 8 weeks ago. I mean 8 days ago. And now this is what he looks like now. I don't know. That's crazy.
To me. It looks like a baby.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean that's completely.
That's weird. It's like wild. White Kamaru Usman or something. I don't know how to feel about that.
Bro, that's wild. He looks tiny.
What's Tybura KO?
Tybura by KO. That's a good question. Tybura by KO plus 950.
Dude, I might just take that and just call it a day because then I won't have to worry about what round it's in.
But mind you, take Tybura by KO or by decision. plus 600 or plus 950. Take your pick, because I don't see him getting a sub. I really don't. Because Tybura by sub is plus 2,800. He can freaking you can bet like $10 on that if you really wanted to cover your bases there. But either way, you can bet all those props and you're coming out profitable as long as one of those hit.
Shit. Yeah, I'll just take the KO and the decision because that way the decision covers my ass.
Right.
But man, and and it's funny because I thought I was crazy when I initially had that wrote up, but then I was like, I don't know. I think Romanov could win if he does win. It's late, but
Like, I think he could win too. I mean, he's got the skills.
yeah. But it's a good stab.
It's 16-0 against virtually nobody.
Yeah. I would say also rewatch, or if you can rewatch Tybura versus the Lewis fight, because he smothered Lewis, and I mean Lewis is much bigger than Romanov, especially in those photos.
A lot bigger.
Like yeah, I mean the only difference between Lewis and him is Romanov knows how he knows how to avoid a takedown, but I mean not when you're a baby. Like anyone could take him down.
If this dude makes 205, he'd be a fucking problem.
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy. All right, let's move on because I think we're on the same page. But
yeah, I'm sorry, but just like looking at those photos, it just kind of gets me all a little crazy because I'm like, why the hell is he so tiny? But either way, moving on, our first fight up in the main card is a fight in the light heavyweight division between Harry Hunsucker and Tyson Pedro. Right now, Pedro minus 740 all the way up to minus 900. Come back on Hunsucker plus 540 all the way up to plus 575. Who do you got?
Seems like UFC really doesn't want Tyson Pedro to sign with the PFL. Normally Hunsucker gets the finish, or gets finished pretty early, and Pedro tends to find the finish quickly. I like the idea of Pedro taking his time to secure the win. So I'm taking Pedro KO round 2 and hoping and praying then Hunsucker paces himself and somehow manages to get to round 2. I like it because it's plus 700, but also round 1 is, I think earlier today it was even money. So you could take Pedro wins by KO round 1, put $10 on it, then also put $10 on round 2. And then that way, if you just get your money back if he wins in round 1. So that is what it is. But if he wins in round 2, man, you're going to Sizzler. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right. Death, taxes, and Harry Hunsucker getting knocked the fuck out in round 1.
Yeah, okay. All right.
That's pretty much how it goes. This man always stays getting knocked the fuck out in round 1. I mean, Jared Bandera knocked his ass out in round 1. His next fight up got knocked the fuck out in round 1. And now he's facing the best opponent that he's faced, who's a power puncher, who knocks people out in round 1. Tyson Pedro gets a knockout in round 1 and keeps it trucking. That's pretty much it. Really, there's not much else to it because Harry Hunsucker obviously should not be in the UFC. Tyson Pedro is very good. He's a guy that obviously the UFC wants to do well, so they're giving him some nice little cans to look good. And here's another one for you. So. Tyson Pedro wins in round 1. It's like minus 200. It's not great, but ultimately that's the name of the game. That's what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
There's no other storyline there.
Yeah, that's it. Moving on, we got a fight in the women's flyweight division between Lucy Pudilova and Yanan Wu. Right now, Pudilova minus 125 to come back on Wu plus 105. Who do you got?
Old Mulan's fighting again. You remember her? I remember her being bad, dude, like really bad. I didn't tape this fight, nor do I wish that on anyone, not even Magic MMA. Lucy has a pulse and can win a fight. She's faced better competition, and from what I remember, she does have decent power. Decent. I use it very loosely here. Which should help her get the nod. I'm not betting on this fight. I'm not watching this fight. I don't care about this fight. But if you are a degenerate, bet Lucy by decision plus 130. I think that's the play. But I mean, I could care less. I think that this is just the Hunsucker fight was last. You got your violence now. Let's fit one of the shitty ones in, kind of thing.
Yeah, let's just take a nap during this for
Yeah.
15 minutes, maybe like 25 minutes, depending on how long this fight takes. Yeah, I mean, definitely hard to take Wu, whose only win in the last like decade is a girl that's not even in the UFC anymore. And she was losing that fight, might I add, as a 3-1 underdog. But she pulled a rabbit out of her hat and got it done. But
I didn't even say pulled a rabbit out of her ass. I was like, okay.
I was gonna say that, but then I'm like, oh, let's keep it a little PG, right there, a little PG there. So
For the ladies, the
yeah,
ladies.
just in case some ladies are watching here. But anyways, yeah, I think Pudilova is she's a gritty fighter. She kind of reminds me of the Ultimate Fighter winner. Not really good, but she's mean. She comes forward and she throws some volume, gets dirty in your face, nice slashing elbows in the clinch. And I feel like she's gonna do damage. Wu gets hit a ton. She's lost to terrible competition. I think he's won one fight, like I said, in the last decade. And they brought Pudilova back for a reason. She's won 5 of her last 6. Her only loss is to Lita Bernardo, who's fought in the UFC before, just a few fights prior. So, yeah, I think Pudilova gets the job done here. I mean, it's not really much to it. The decision prop's not bad, plus 130, considering majority of Pudilova wins are by decision. So, yeah, Pudilova wins. Wu gets cut. That's pretty much it. Let's keep it moving.
Hold on. Before we go, hey Garrett, what the fuck is this?
A fight that no one wants to see on the fucking main card. I still can't believe they put that on the main card.
It is what it is.
Fucking idiots. All right.
Racing.
Moving on. In our featured bout on the main card is a fight in the bantamweight division between Jose Aldo and Merab Dvalishvili. Right now, the line is set at minus 135 on Merab, and the comeback on Aldo plus 115. Who do you got?
Yeah, this one's cool. This is my real co-main event, actually. Huge fan of both these guys, but here's the thing. Aldo has the style that the judges love. We all know that he lost to Chito Vera, and I'd say that he has a good shot of doing something similar here. I like Merab too, but with the way the odds are, I just might place a bet on Aldo by decision. As I said, I like both guys. I don't like Merab's coach. He's really annoying to me.
Who? Ray Longo?
Yeah, dude, I can't
stand him. Oh, man, I love Ray Longo.
I can't stand him. I don't know why. He just seems like shifty.
He's your typical New Yorker.
Yeah, he seems like a guy that has like season tickets to the Mets. Like, and I just
no, he's definitely got to be like a Giants and Yankees fan for sure.
Yeah, something like just like one of those. I think it's like so stereotypical, like that it bothers me. Like you could literally draw that guy because he like looks like a cartoon. But I like both guys. I just feel like this is going to come down to the judges, and if you want out, once the fight starts, watch those live odds, as I assume that this one will probably flip back and forth. I think Jose Aldo by decision at plus 240, I think that has a lot of value. And like I said, if you want out, you could probably bet Merab, after round 1, after round 2, and then you basically kind of find some money in there somewhere.
I just don't see Aldo winning a decision in this spot. Considering I think Merab's going to attempt a shit ton of takedowns. And when he does that, Aldo's going to be gassed like a motherfucker. Easy. Because he gasses as it is, striking against high volume strikers. And as far as that Chito Vera fight goes, he's losing that fight unless he got the takedown and just held his back, which he did. I mean, he was able to take Chito down and held him in round 3. If he didn't do that, he lost. He would have lost that fight on the feet because he was tired. He was gassed. And you look at his other fights, even in the Font fight, he was losing that fight. He was losing every moment of every round of that fight until he lands a knockdown in each of those rounds. He was outpaced. He was out volumed. He was outstruck. And it was just the power that overtook him. And although I believe, I'm not mistaken, has only landed over 100 strikes once in the last forever. And that was against Munoz, who doesn't do anything but stand in front of you and get hit. So if I'm going a decision bet, I would take Merab by decision, who is 10-3 in his career by decision, who should be 11-2 and undefeated in decisions in his UFC career. But he was bullshitted out of a Frankie Science decision early in the UFC career, which is completely bogus. There's no way he lost that decision. Technically, he should be 11-2 on decisions because of the fact that he's relentless with his takedowns. He's got crazy good cardio. He's going to control you on the mat. But where the drawback is, we saw in the Marlon Moraes fight, he gets hit a ton. He's got a big ass head, doesn't move it very well. And Aldo can knock his ass out. Now, Aldo still got power.
Yep.
Even at this age. And for him to win by knockout is plus 460. So for me here, the way I'm playing this fight is either Aldo by knockout plus 460 and Merab by decision at plus 160. Because those are the two ways I think this fight's going to go. I feel like that's two ways you can make money. You can even bet both sides because I don't think Merab's going to finish Aldo on the feet or on the mat. He's not a submission threat, and he's not going to knock him out. He's only got one knockout since forever. And Aldo definitely can start Merab on the feet. But if he doesn't, I think he's going to get rinse and repeat. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get – and in Aldo, there's no way Aldo can stop relentless takedowns by Merab and be fresh for 15 minutes and win a decision. Where Merab can pick you up, take you down for 15 minutes with absolutely no problem whatsoever. He's done it. I think he's got 20 takedowns in one fight, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm sorry. He got 25 takedowns in 2 fights. Yeah. He took Casey Kenny down 12 times. So I know that Aldo has good takedown defense, but he's not stopping takedowns against Merab. Merab is definitely the best wrestler he's faced in his entire career. Like entire career. I know Frankie Edgar, he's a good wrestler as well. He defended takedowns early. I mean, that was also 6 years ago. And defended 11 takedowns against Frankie Edgar. But, that's not the same. You're talking about now all those, 36 years old?
Yeah.
Almost 36 years old, going against a young, contender who has the most takedowns in bantamweight history. I don't expect him to defend much of the takedowns here. So my betting strategy for this is Aldo by knockout plus 460, and I'll also take Merab by decision at plus 160 as well. I think I'm going to hit one of those two, and then we're going to come out with profit on either end.
We'll see. We'll see on Saturday.
Okay. Our next fight up is the co-main event between Luke Rockhold and Paulo Costa in the middleweight division. Right now, Costa minus 345. The comeback on Rockhold plus 285. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm not I don't really get this fight. I'm not really impressed with either guy. I think Rockhold is really only showing up for a check, and that's all she wrote. Costa only beats aging vets. Any step up, and he kind of looks like shit. So considering Luke is just another aging vet, I think Costa will find the chin and look decent once again. But despite all of that, I assume this to be a slow and boring fight where both guys protect their face and nothing else. Stupid matchmaking, but whatever. Let's cash the over. I like the over 1.5 at minus 140. I think we get to that point, and then they both start throwing. I don't see it going any other way.
I see someone dying in round 1, and I feel like I think it's Rockhold who dies in round 1. I mean, he looks like a legit crackhead from what I've seen in the media days. He looks really weird. He doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's the weight cut since he hasn't cut weight since 2019.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. I don't even know why this is a fight.
Well, he hasn't fought since 2019. He hasn't had a cut weight well, he hasn't had a cut to 185 since 2018.
Damn.
Why do you think? Now I understand why he's looking as bad as he does. It's because he's absolutely completely drawn out because he hasn't made 185 in forever. He hasn't made 185, damn, in 4 years. That's insane. Actually, more than 4 years. We're talking 4.5 years. In 4.5 years, he hasn't made 185. This man, if Paulo Costa just touches his chin, I think once, this man's getting knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like it boils down to Costa actually throwing caution to the wind, coming forward and throwing punches. And if he does that early in round one, he should find the finish in round one. I think I like the fight to end in round one at plus 150. I like the under 1.5 rounds at plus 105. Or you can even take the fight ends in round two, which is, I don't know. Fight ends in round two at plus 250. I think if you take one of those two, I think it's definitely ending in the first 2 rounds. So you take either the plus 150 ends in round one, or take it to end in round two at plus 250.
Well, why wouldn't you just take Costa TKO round one?
Because who knows? You know, Costa TKO round one. Let's say Costa TKO round one. It's plus 220, and plus 185. Let's just say on Bet Online, which is not bad. But then again, Rocco could land something too, a question mark kick, some type of head kick. I just like to play it safe.
Yeah.
Fight ends in round one. Fight ends in round two. Or like I said, you can definitely take Costa to win in round one at plus 185. But I mean, it's only 35 more cents on the dollar considering the fight to end in round one is plus 150. Yeah, you leave a little bit of money on the table, but is it really that much to chance it that Rockhold catches him something? Nah, not really. So I'd rather just
lose. Yeah,
right.
I get it.
I'd rather just take the fight to end in round one, which I think it should ultimately, or even in round two. But there's no possible way these two guys are going around three. There's just no way. I just can't see it. I just can't fathom. They literally have to stand there and not throw worth the shit for that fight to go to round three. There's just no way. Like, Rockhold's chin is not there as it is. You know, he's gotten finished in his last 3 losses. So
and he was the favorite in those fights, if I remember correctly.
He was the favorite in the Jan Blachowicz fight. He was a favorite in the Yoel Romero fight, and he was the favorite in the Michael Bisping fight. Mm-hmm. And he got knocked the fuck out in all 3. And he got knocked out in round 1 against Bisping. He got knocked out in round 2 against Jan Blachowicz. He got knocked out in round 3 against Yoel Romero. The reason why it was round 3 for Yoel Romero is because Yoel Romero is the guy that likes to just stand there and just look at you for 2 rounds before he actually starts to actually throw punches.
Yeah, and then he complains that he thought that it was a 5-round fight.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, Luke, and like Forrest Andrews saying, Luke is Mr. Glass. He is made of glass. I completely agree with you, and I feel like the weight cut. This guy has a cut to 185 in 4.5 years. That's gonna play a major factor in his fight. On top of this fight being at elevation too. So this guy has got to fight at elevation. He's got to cut to 185 that he hasn't done in forever. So I think everything's stacked against him. I have Costa winning the fight. I have him winning by TKO. I have him winning inside 2 rounds as well.
That sounds easy.
Easy enough. And now we're up to our main event. Our main event of the evening. In a fight in the welterweight division between the welterweight champion of the world, Kamaru Usman, taking on the surging contender, the veteran, the guy that he's beaten already, Leon Edwards. Right now, the line is set at minus 380 all the way up to minus 400. And somehow, some way on Bet Rivers, he's minus 910. Whatever, somehow, some way. But anyways, to come back on Edwards plus 310 across the board. Who do you got?
While Leon was getting rocked by Nate Diaz, Usman was busy fighting the best of the best in the welterweight division. Leon went to a split decision with Gunnar Nelson. I was on the Nelson side, so that'll probably tell you who I'm picking for this fight. Edwards finally gets his shot, but Usman, he improves with every fight. Leon doesn't. Like he just kind of like is stagnant ultimately. Usman's hands are better. He's gonna want to make a statement here. Like I think that he's tired of kind of giving less than 100% or whatever the hell he used to say. I'd also argue that Edwards is a step down in competition. Can we just press fast forward, through this fight? Because I'm ready to see Leon versus Jorge. I think that's the fight to make.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that's more interesting. The storyline's there. I feel like it's maybe a little bit closer. Like the odds are, it just seems like a less of a handicap. But yeah, Usman KO plus 280 all day.
Yeah, obviously I like Usman in this fight. Edwards is a good fighter, but man, has he beaten absolutely fucking nobody. He's got not a single win over a top 10 ranked fighter in his win streak after Usman beat him. Okay, yep. Vicente Luque was not a top 10 fighter when he beat him. And you look at RDA, yes, he was a top 10 fighter in the welterweight division, but he's now back to lightweight. So you talk about he beat in lightweight. I mean, look at these wins. Nate Diaz, RDA, Gunnar Nelson, Donald Cerrone, Peter Sabata, Brian Barberena, Vicente Luque, Albert Tumanov, and Dominic Waters. Those are his...
Who? It's like, who?
Yeah, like, those are his 9 wins, and this man has a title shot. And mind you, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those 9 wins were by decision. How are you not finishing guys like Dominic Waters? How are you're not finishing Brian Barberena or fucking Donald Cerrone or even Gunnar or Gunnar Nelson for that?
That was
matter.
That was a split.
I mean, come on, man. And now you're going to tell me he's going to beat Kamaru Usman after almost getting knocked out by a Stockton slap by Nate Diaz. I mean, let's be real here, guys.
How could he not finish Diaz like that? I think that's the most telling piece of all of this. Like, that fight was probably set up to make you look good, to sell tickets,
right,
and to make you look good. And ultimately, I mean, you won the fight, but in the public's eyes, you lost, baby.
Yeah, that was a terrible showing, considering he dominated for literally 24 minutes and 30 seconds. In the last 30 seconds, he got slapped and almost got knocked out. You give him probably 15 more seconds, he probably would have finished him.
Yep.
And then you have Nate Diaz fighting for the title. Like, you know how crazy that is?
Yeah.
But anyways, I think Usman should win this fight. My only drawback on him, he hasn't fought in a bit. He had hand surgery. And, I don't like those type of things, which is why I kind of am reluctant to, to pay a premium of minus 380 to minus 400 on him. I don't think he gets the knockout. I do like him to win a decision at minus 110, minus 120. I think he just does what he needs to do to get the win, use some wrestling, beat him up on the feet, just outstrike him, stay out range. And, I think he gets the job done via unanimous decision, 50-45, 49-46. I think it's just going to be a very wide decision.
Here's why I think the TKO is the way to go, is because of all those names you listed, Usman hits the hardest, and he's going to want.
He does, but at the end of the day, no one has finished Edwards.
Yeah, until today. I mean, think about it though, because Diaz almost, had Diaz followed up, he would have knocked him out. Usman, so the last time Usman fought Edwards, it went to a decision. Usman won the decision. I think that he's going to want to make a statement. He's going to want to finish this fight, close this chapter, and then kind of prove to Dana that, hey, I need to switch weight class. I need to be a double champ.
Yeah, and the crazy part is he's not just going up one weight class. He wants to go all the way up to 2 weight classes to light heavyweight, which is not going to bode very well for him, I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the better, I mean, statement than winning? You know, the guy that he beat previously via decision, he comes in, knocks him out, shows the world that he can knock out the guy that no one has knocked out. But that's the thing. Leon Edwards picked all of his fights. I mean, those guys aren't going to finish him. Look at who he fought.
Right. That's true. That's true.
I mean, I get where you're coming from because I feel like the decision is safe, but just knowing that Usman wants to go up 2 weight classes, I think it kind of puts more money behind his name, more respect on his name, if you will, and it makes him that much more interesting. It almost levels him up in the public's eye. Like he'll be a needle pusher at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Coming in there wanting to get a dominant victory and be like, I'm the best. I'm the best there is. I'm pound for pound number one. And he probably could show that right here. He's got the power to do it, and I wouldn't be surprised. I would like to take a KO in decision double prop. Maybe that will at least bring the line down maybe to minus 200 or so, which I kind of think it would. And that I would kind of smack a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, I'm like pretty freaking confident in this. I think that like compared to like the Bo Nickel fight, I feel like this is not that crazy. You know, like Usman should win this. I've laid heavier chalk on him. This doesn't scare me. So, I mean,
And then also you also have to think about it. We're at elevation. Leon Edwards is at sea level over in the UK. Usman trains at elevation fight team in Colorado, so he's gonna have all that pumping into his blood. He's been there, he's felt it before. So I think he has the upper hand. So yeah, I got Usman all day here. Could Leon Edwards get it done? Yeah, he could, but I'd be surprised if he really does. Honestly,
he went to split decision with Gunnar Nelson. He's not going to get it done. Like,
I think people love that big dog money on him. That's kind of why.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing. It's enticing, just like it was with Jorge. But I mean, Jorge hits harder than Leon Edwards. Like,
oh yeah,
that makes more sense to me. But like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Against anyone else, the dog money for Edwards makes sense. But like, Usman, it's hard. It's hard.
I get you. So that's what we got for you guys for this week's breakdown for UFC 278. Before we go, I need you guys to go to PrizePicks.com, sign up there with our promo code Props Live for 100% deposit bonus up to $100 on a new account. Making a ton of money over there. I love PrizePicks. It's easy. It's over unders on takedowns, fight time, strikes landed, fantasy scores. It's just easy money. You don't have to do much gambling here. It's either you go 5 for 5, you win 10 times your money. Even 4 out of 5, you win double your money back. So I think it's good. It's fun, easy money, keeps you invested in the fight. So head over there, use promo code Props Live and deposit now. But before we go, our man Jesse Hobson, where can everybody find you on the spaces out there?
Mason Tybura, round 3 KO plus 3,500 million .com. Yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, if that hits, man, you won't see me back next week.
He's like, that's all I wrote.
Yeah, I'll be in the freaking Caribbean with freaking Usman, soaking it up, daddy.
All right, guys. We will see you back next week. We need you guys to go to the Props HQ on YouTube. Subscribe there. Go to Playmaker all over social networks. Give them a follow and subscribe to their YouTube channels. And we will be back next week. Break it down. More bets, more money in your pocket. And we will see you guys then. We are out of here. Adios.